Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kayfabe Central podcast. In this combo edition of the Kayfabe Central podcast, because this is episode 29 of the headlines of pro wrestling this week. But this is also another episode of Predict the Bell, where we are going to be breaking down AEW World's End 2025, which is going down tonight. Kicks off with the 0 hour at 7 o'clock Eastern, and the actual show at 8 o'clock Eastern. So we're going to be breaking that down. I don't know when this is going to be up and when we're going to finish recording. It may come out even like an hour before the 0 hour starts, but the goal is to have this up before the 0 hour starts. So even if it's like 30 minutes before, then you know what? It's a goal accomplished. If you don't know who we are by now, I am your host, Josh, as always. Joining me is Rue on Wrestling.
Hey guys.
So yeah, we're gonna be going over the headlines in pro wrestling this week, which we only have like three headlines because it has been very bland week for pro wrestling. So I that's when I figured I was just telling Rue. That's when I figured I'm like, you know what, we might as well throw in the World's End predictions into here as well, get a actual good podcast going. So yeah, we're gonna break that down. Before we get into that though, this is not the end of the year award, so I will be doing myself promo. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Check out the Kayfabe Central website. That's where all my coverage posts, articles, written predictions, all that good stuff are. So go check that out. I have not done my written predictions for AEW World's End because I have just not had the time this week to do that. So I apologize. I also apologize to all my people on TikTok and Shorts and Instagram Reels who were maybe looking forward to content because I had a streak going on. I had a very long streak where I was just posting every day for like the last 2 months or something like that. And the streak broke yesterday, guys. I didn't post at all, but I apologize. It's Christmas time. My birthday is on Wednesday. Wednesday, yeah. My birthday's on Wednesday. So give me a break, man. It's on the last day of the year. I'm trying for you guys, all right? But yeah, we're gonna go over all that stuff. Make sure you guys check out the KFib Central website. I am going to be doing coverage for AEW World's End. No, the coverage post is not up yet. I am sorry, but it will be up eventually. So make sure you guys keep tabs on my Instagram page, my Twitter page, all that good stuff. So when I do put up the coverage post, you guys will see it. Um, let's dive straight into. Let's start with the headlines since we don't have a lot, and it's like even the three headlines we have this week, it's like a bunch of things that don't really matter, to be honest. Um, like the WWE commentary teams are switching up. So we got for Monday Night Raw, we are gonna have Michael Cole and Corey Graves, and on SmackDown we're gonna have Joe Test and Wade Barrett. There we go. On SmackDown. So that's fine. I think because I want to think that this is more of like a Joe Test thing because I think it's college football that he does as well. So maybe it's a thing where like, okay, I'm only available for, the opposite end. I've been struggling to keep up with the NFL, let alone college football. So I have no idea what's going on for college football right now. But go Alabama. That's all I'll say. Um, and yeah, so I'm assuming Joe Tess is busy with that. I don't mind these commentary teams. It's pretty much like what they've been doing anyway, pretty much, because I could have sworn like Wade Barrett has just been on SmackDown for the most part anyway. And Joe Tess, I think he started on SmackDown as well. So nothing really new here. I think Michael Cole and Corey Graves on Raw is fine. That's your what do they call it? That's your main show for Monday Night Raw, I guess. So I guess Michael Cole and Corey Graves being there, it works. I don't know when Pat McAfee's coming back. I know he's also busy with college
Ugh.
football. But I can imagine he's going to be back. I doubt it's going to be for the Chamber because it's in Saudi. But I'd assume maybe he comes back for the Chamber. Um, to commentate for that. I'm with Rue on that reaction because I don't really have an interest or excitement on Pat McAfee coming back. And it's nothing against the guy personally. Like Pat McAfee is a very fun guy. He is hilarious and he is one of the best. Rue, I know you don't watch American football, but he is one of the best NFL punters of all time. And I have tremendous amount of respect for Pat McAfee. He just doesn't quite understand the business as a whole. And that's completely fine. Like it's cool to have guest commentators or something. Like I loved when Snoop Dogg commentated one time and he just had no idea what was going on. The guy was just high out of his mind and he was just commentating and then jumps in the ring and beats up the Miz and hits the worst people's elbow of all time. So I like moments like that. Those are funny. But I don't have any excitement for Pat McAfee coming back. But what are your thoughts on the commentary team switch ups?
Yeah, I just said not much really changes, just changing brands. The way I look at it is, I guess, similar to the, kind of I grew up in, and I guess the maybe early stages of yourself. But like, to me, the iconic duos on either side, it was Cole and Taz, and then obviously JR and King. And in this world we now live in, this new generation, Cole and Graves I see as the JR and King. So keep them on the flagship show, keep them on Raw, and we can have Wade
Flagship.
and
That's the word I was looking for. There
yeah.
we go.
We can have Wade and Joe as the Michael Cole and the Taz on SmackDown. So I'm cool. And I was like you said, like I do like comment like bar my voting for him for worst commentator of the year and my reaction. I do like Pat McAfee because he did bring something out of Michael Cole. It's just this year something's like changed. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess the last couple of years, but this year particularly, because like you said, I would be cool for them to bring Pat back once in a while, like kind of what they did at the start of the year when they had the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. If they do that, fine. It's a one-off show. I'm not going to sit and
Yeah.
moan about it. Like it's a one-off show. I'm sure he'll make some calls that annoy me, but it's not the end of the world. I don't want to see him on the weekly show. That's when it starts to get a bit draining.
Yeah. You know what would be the end of the world for somebody though? If Jerry the King Lawler did have one more match like he says he wants to, or he says he has one more match left in him. Um, he
I,
shouldn't.
hey, I've had a thought. I, I've had a thought on this, by the way.
Okay,
Just
go.
saying, I think it's a really legitimate shout. We are in a current run of Gunther retiring
Oh
people.
no. No, no.
Genuinely, like I think one chop by Gunther might send Jerry through four different bypasses in his heart. Like the man, like, I think the King saw it could be dead, and Gunther could chop him, and I genuinely think that would restart his heart. It would be that cause that much force to him.
Yeah. I think if he has one more match, it's not gonna be with WWE.
No,
He's probably gonna do it with like in Memphis or something like that. Like I don't even think AEW is gonna go out of their way to have Jerry the King
yeah,
Lawler have
he
one more match.
he
Like
ain't getting cleared by WWE at all.
yeah, no.
We're not going to run that risk.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like at that rate, you might as well throw Triple H back in there or something. Like
Okay.
have Triple H
Right,
versus
right.
Triple
You
H
know
versus Jerry the King Lawler in a stretcher match.
Okay, that's a good one. No, I was about to say, know how we get first blood matches?
Yeah.
How about we have first heart attack match?
Oh my. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get canceled off this, this
Potentially. I
show.
apologize. I do not want to see Jerry King
No, we're
Lawler back
not.
in the
We're
ring.
not wishing death on
Stay,
anybody, guys.
stay
We're not.
safe, Jerry. Just don't get back in the ring. And neither
Yeah,
you,
don't. That's what we're saying. That's why we're making fun of it because what the hell
yeah,
is wrong with you?
yeah.
Like,
Neither you two, Hunter. You stay away from the ring as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's a little thing I wanted to throw in there. He shouldn't have another match. It's probably gonna be get someone like in Memphis that we have no clue who it is or something if he does do
Joey,
it.
it would be
Uh,
like Joey Janela, and it'll be a dumb match. It'll be like Joey Janela in like a street fight, or like some sort of like death match. Like,
Man, I after Demand Lucha, I've gained so much respect for Joey Janela. If he takes part in that match, I don't know where that respect will go. Yeah. But that's the Jerry King Lawler stuff. I don't have a transition for this, but Andrade can now wrestle anywhere.
ooh,
Because he apparently got that cleared. Apparently Roosh got him a lawyer. Was the lawyer
yeah.
Beast Mortos potentially? Um
That'd be that's like corporate Kane, but better and actually good.
Corporate mortals. There we go.
But he has to wear the beast mask, obviously, the entire time
Yeah,
whilst he's in.
exactly. Just a beast mask with a clean suit in court. Oh man. Yeah, that'll win you a case. But yeah, Andrade can compete anywhere now. And I think it's a very small chance. I don't think it's going to happen that he appears at World's End tonight. I don't think it's going to happen. He's more likely. I think he's already actually set up to wrestle in New Japan for Wrestle Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
So he's on there. So he is going to be in AEW eventually. They are going to officially sign him at some point because Kenny Omega had a little video as well where he was like, "I have some unfinished business," and like the Young Bucks are not wrestling for the remainder of 2025. Maybe the unfinished business is Andrade. Maybe now that this is clear, we're gonna do that because obviously Andrade attacked Omega when he returned and then left. But yeah, so I definitely think Andrade is gonna come back at some point. Maybe it could just be like as simple as this Wednesday on Dynamite he shows up or something like that. Because like we mentioned, he does have the match at Wrestle Kingdom. So, yeah, Andrade is free.
Yeah, so like, I am not educated on this enough to properly speak on it, but people who are a lot smarter than me, I have seen talking about the sort of legal status of that kind of aspect of his contract. And from what I've heard, and again, this isn't canon because I am not a lawyer by any means, is that they basically looked at it and went, it would be very, very hard for WWE to try and enforce this rule that's in the contract, and that basically if they went to a court of law, it would cost them a hell of a lot of money, and there's a very slim chance they would actually win. So it's a kind of annoying that they've like had to go. It's taken also Andrade's had to go through the lot more loopholes to get to the same end they would have got if they just went, "Oh, it's fine anyway." But I mean, good for Andrade. It's good. I mean, I know we kind of memed on him a lot because it was really funny when it happened. But I mean, the guy's so incredibly talented. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh my God, I want Andrade now to be world champion in every promotion. The guy's incredibly talented in the ring. I think him joining the Don Callis family, from what it seemed like he was teasing out on AEW, had been very cool to see. And as you said, he'll be in AEW once that's legally allowed. He'll be in AEW at some point. I said at the minute, maybe he's just going to kind of edge into the multiverse of AEW through New Japan and do it that way. I don't know, but as you said, maybe we don't know anything. Maybe he does show up tonight. But I mean, I'm happy for Andrade. At least he can actually go wrestle and earn the money that he deserves to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, it would have been funny if like during that contract thing he had one last appearance with WWE and then left again and
I
now
would have
shows back up in
loved that.
AEW.
I really wanted them to chuck him in like the John Cena tournament for no, just feed him to Gunn or something.
Oh man. Were there any other that's all I have for headlines. Were there any other headlines that you saw this week that you wanted to go over?
um, Drew McIntyre's a menace. Not much. No, I don't think there really is much more news.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess all the stuff like from SmackDown, also we already knew because it was spoiler free. But obviously, Carmelo Hayes, new US champion, incredible. So happy for him.
Yeah.
Drew and Cody, 3 stages of hell. Looking forward to that. Even though and Drew's promo was amazing. Even though Drew will lose once again because God damn it, WWE. But yeah, I don't think there's much else. NXT wise, Trick Williams looks like he's coming to SmackDown. Javon Evans to Raw, potentially Oba to SmackDown. Kit Wilson is going to die next week. That's what we learned.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think Kit Wilson's opponent is Oba? Did they
Oh,
announce that officially
well, they
or
haven't announced it. It was just very funny in my live stream. I was literally saying how, oh, it's probably Trick because he's the only one who doesn't have anything on right now like Oba. And then he instantly showed the Oba vignette on SmackDown. So I don't know. Maybe it was just ironic timing, or maybe it was on purpose to show that right after the Kit Wilson segment. But even if it's Trick, I also think Kit Wilson's still going to die.
do you think Oba maybe does the Kevin Owens thing where he brings the NXT title up to the main roster?
Ooh. Yeah, why not? Actually, yeah, I could totally because again, it's Oba Femi. Like like, why not? He should be like, yeah, I can come in here. I can like, I'll just win everything. I'm over.
Yeah,
Like, what are you gonna do?
exactly. I am the ruler. So, um, but yeah, that's the headlines. Also, congratulations to Carmelo Hayes. Kalani Jordan wasted no time posting that picture
That's
with Carmelo right after that match ended with the U.S. title. So
that was funny
that
to be
was
fair.
adorable. That was cute. So I couldn't assume they had a great Christmas with that. So. But yeah, congratulations to Carmelo Hayes. He's got something. He's got something going for him. We've been clamoring. The IWC has been clamoring for Carmelo Hayes to get something for a couple of years now. So I'm very happy that he's got something. Um, I get a feeling that this is not going to be a long title reign. I feel like he may do the Open Challenge again, and within like a month or two, he's going to drop it to somebody else, potentially Champa or Gargano, who attacked him last
hmm
night. I wouldn't mind Gargano winning the U.S. title at all. I think
Gargano and Hayes.
Gargano's, yeah,
hmm
I think that would be an awesome match. So definitely, I think we've gotten to the point now. Let's get the U.S. title on a pay-per-view. I think we've
Oh yeah.
elevated this title enough with the open challenges. And you don't want to burn out these open challenges. You don't
hmm
want that people to be like, okay, I'm kind of tired of it. Like it's good matches, but there's a point in time where I feel like the open challenges should eventually set up your big storyline for
Yep.
whoever you want that champion to be going into that. So I think we should set up with something with Carmelo Hayes. There's a lot of different things we can do. Obviously, we have the thing with Gargano and Champa. We've got Trick Williams potentially coming to SmackDown. Maybe we get a reuniting Trick Mello gang and then Trick turns on Mello for the US title. There's a lot of things that they can do here. But getting to a storyline and getting the US title on a PLE should be the next goal for them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously it's just been in the open challenge kind of mode, but I mean, over the last when did Sammy take it from Solo? Was it just after SummerSlam? Like just after it, I think.
I think it was just after SummerSlam.
Yeah, so we're going on not quite 6 months, but almost. Like the best part of the year. I would probably, now I'm trying to think before these words come out of my mouth, that the US Championship's probably, at least on main roster, let's say that, probably the best book championship, maybe the women's tag team belts in there. At least over the last couple of months, it's the thing I've definitely been the most invested in and say that and enjoyed the most, especially when SmackDown was proper bad. Starting to pick up a little bit, but when it was proper bad, I always enjoyed Sami Zayn and Ilya's US Open challenges. But I totally agree with what you said though. Like, there comes a point where you've done the Open Challenge with literally everyone on your roster. like, um, when we're not about to get Cutler James coming up challenging for it. Maybe in my wildest nightmares that will happen.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, I am totally down. As you said, if they wanted to do it the way with Hayes and have him not have a long reign again, if this is to happen, people are going to be pissed off. But this is one of the few times I think it could be worth it. Is to have Carmel lose it quite quickly. I should maybe to Gargano because someone like Trick turns on him or whatever to then keep continuing to build Hayes to the point where maybe not quite we're getting to Daniel Bryan's level, but people want him and will be pissed off if he loses that belt. So if we keep building him back up to the point where he can win it again at somewhere like a WrestleMania, I'm cool to see it.
The United States Championship, I feel, should be setting you up to eventually win the world title.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what mid-card titles should be used for,
yeah.
right? Like you get called up or like you're a young guy coming up or whatever, give you the mid-card title first, maybe give you a tag title as well in between there as well to set you up for the main roster. And I think this is Carmelo Hayes' test. I think that this is going to be his test run to see how he carries the title. And if he does
Yep.
really well, they're going to elevate him a lot more. If he doesn't do that well, he's going to go back to what he was doing before and
Yep.
just having random matches or whatever. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
happy for Carmelo Hayes. He's got something. Um and he's doing really well. That pop for when he won the title was ridiculous, especially for we were talking about it, a crowd that went through a 5 hour taping and they were still that loud. Shout out to Grand Rapids, Michigan,
Hmm.
man. They did really well with that crowd work. So, yeah, I'm intrigued to see where they go with Carmelo Hayes' U.S. title run.
Yeah, and I hope it actually, if they do the kind of him dropping it and regaining it or something, I do hope he gets a good run in it. Because as you said, I totally agree. I mean, I feel like that is the basic principle of the mid card is to prep you. Because like, why would we bother putting time and investment into you as a mid card wrestler if we didn't potentially see you coming up a little bit? I mean, I think a perfect example is looking at Raw right now. You've got Braun Breaker, who had his IC title run two time, yeah, he was, I believe. And then going on now, I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion in the next 2 years, but maybe from next year, Braun will be a world champion. And I think we are on the current final stages of that being true for Dominic Mysterio. I'll sit here and now I've said it in other videos, and I will also pull out more, will put out more videos about this. I think Dominic Mysterio is front runner for Mr. Money in the Bank this year. So you heard it here first. So I think he's in that stage. I think it's exactly the point you're meant to do with the mid card. It doesn't always happen, obviously. Another example, I think someone like Damian Priest started off a couple of time US champion and went on to the World Championship. It's not always the case, but I think Carmelo is someone I think they're starting to see and realize what they have there. I hope so anyway. I said that about LA Knight a couple of years ago as well. So I hope so.
Yeah, with the point that you made with the US title being the best booked title right now. I'd have to agree. Like there's a lot of good matches going on, but at the same time, I'm going to be that guy. It's very easy to do an open challenge.
Oh yeah.
It's very easy and somewhat lazy a little bit to do an open challenge. It's like, okay, we don't have anything going. We're going to continue John Cena's legacy, which is completely fine, right? Like the US title was in shambles before the open challenge started. So
Hmm.
I'm glad that they did it. It really, awoken the US title scene and got a lot of people on the show. Um, but as I mentioned, like I think it's just because it's the easy route that they took for the US title. And sometimes the easy route is the best route. But as long as, like I said, you capitalize on this, let's get some storylines going for this US
Yeah.
title now. Let's build off of this momentum. Because as good as these matches are being and have been, I don't want another year of US Open challenges. I don't care to see it. Like another year of this. He'll probably do a couple more.
Hmm.
And then I need a feud, a rivalry, for Carmelo.
Yeah, I think as well, and I think this is maybe tells who he will drop to. I think Carmelo has to drop it to a heel because, as you said, especially if he continues the open challenges. Obviously, the issue being the last three US champions we've had are all been babyface, so they're all going to be like, "Oh well, I'm going to continue the open challenge." So we need someone like a Trick Williams to come in and be like, "Absolutely not. We're not doing an open challenge. Why would I do that? That's stupid." But yes, I totally agree, as you said. I also agree with what you said. It sounds bad, but it's not meant that way. But it is. It's a really easy thing to do to book an open challenge because it's simple, because it's good, because people like it. But there does come a point. I said it's going to be stale if you see it every week. It eventually becomes not special. So yeah, I totally agree. I think it's time we get some storyline chucked in there and see how we do, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, um, I don't know if he's completely done with NXT, but I can see Joe Hendry challenging for that US title, whether it be an open challenge or if that's the first title he goes after. More than likely an open challenge kind of thing, because he just finished the thing with The Miz. They're not going to carry that out. I think that was just a little feud to put him in to start because like Miz is a great first feud to have
Oh
as a
yeah.
babyface on the main roster. So that's a great way to kick it off. So I want to assume that he's done with NXT. I don't think he's wearing the NXT shirt anymore either.
No.
So I think he may be done, which is good because I was on here just like a week or two ago and I was like, well, this is a guy that, you found big enough to be on a stage at WrestleMania with Randy Orton. This is a guy you found big enough to be on John Cena's final show, and you still have him in NXT. That's a bit weird. So, they seemed like they came to that realization, and they they have him on SmackDown now, so maybe we see Joe Hendry challenging for that US title at some point.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. I agree. We talked about it last night. I think Joe is done, which also I'm biased towards. I'm very happy, very, very happy for Joe. But I think what I'm more happy about was the reaction last night. Like he came out, like see comparison to when Trick was on the TV. There was a little bit there for Trick,
Yeah.
but the reaction Joe got in the arena, maybe they didn't show the video in the arena, and that's potentially why. I don't know. I didn't hear anything, which kind of blew my mind, a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah,
which took me off.
so when you brought that up, actually, I think it was maybe later. It was either Drew they showed or somebody else they showed. And they didn't cheer until like maybe 5 to 10 seconds into the segment. So
Mhm.
I want to think that there was a delay on showing it on the Titantron. Because I did hear like you said a bit of cheers for Trick Williams, but usually live crowds quiet down when there's a segment going on and they want to hear what they're saying. So it was probably like a yay, oh shit, he's talking, right, kind of thing. So um maybe it was one of that. I can't imagine Trick Williams not getting a pop and
Well,
Obafemi getting a pop and Joe
yeah.
Hendry getting a pop and Javon Evans getting a pop. Like I'd assume Trick Williams whenever he has his first match on SmackDown, he's gonna get a pretty big pop.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, I think all of them, I said that's why I was so happy last night. With you look at the reaction Joe got, and especially the likes of Saturday night's main event. And I would say we will shout out to the we both agreed how good the Grand Rapids crowd was last night. So maybe there was a little bit more of the kind of nail day wrestling fans there rather than just the casual wrestling fans. But
Yeah.
see if it was like that, if like Joe's getting that reaction to still a bunch arena, maybe half full of casual fans, you've got to look at that and surely they'll start to be like, why is this guy on NXT? If he's getting those reactions, let's get him up. And yeah, I'm all for it to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but that's all we have for WWE stuff and headlines in pro wrestling this week. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Let's move on to AEW World's End that's going down tonight. We got a few things lined up. Actually, not as big of a card as AEW usually has. And it seems like a pretty straightforward card. There's some interesting things going down. We have the 0 hour starting at 7 o'clock. The match that's gonna happen on there is and they're probably going to add more matches to the 0 hour like they usually do. I can't see them just doing one match on the 0 hour because they never do that. But we have the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Skye Blue taking on Hyan, I think that I pronounced that right, and Maya World. They had a match on Collision this past week, and they lost to Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. So this is just a means of to get Maya and Hyan on the show on a pay-per-view. And the Sisters of Sin are more than likely going to win. I can't see a world where they lose this match. So that's all I really got for this.
Yeah, fair to it. I didn't even know what the tailgate stuff. I never look at it for the 0 hour because I watch on Amazon Prime, so I never actually get to see the match, which is a bit of a shame to be fair. I'm kind of sad they've started doing that, so I just have to listen to the commentary for an hour. But at the end of the day, at least it's only an hour, not 3 hours, WWE, for God's sake.
Well, the
So
zero
I
hours on YouTube today.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
so
it?
they're not doing the tailgate brawl for this show.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. In
yeah,
that case, then I will watch them because I can't see it.
yeah,
Yeah, well, as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah. Just if you're describing the other teams that have only just had that one match on Collision, cool for them. But yeah, I think this is a to get a on pay per view, even though it's just a 0 hour win for the Sister Sins.
yeah, absolutely. So I feel like we're having um a lot of jokes regarding below the waist this week because we have a mixed nuts mayhem match on this show. That's the name that they're going with. We had nerdcomers yesterday, and now we got a mixed nuts mayhem match. There's a theme going on here on Kayfabe Central, and I'm not sure if I like it a whole lot. So we got that going on. I don't think this is happening on the I doubt it. I think this is happening on the main show. It's the Death Riders. It's a mixed nuts mayhem match because it's the Death Riders Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir versus the Conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Roderick Strong, who's technically not in the Conglomeration, and Timeless Tony Storm. So, a very like random thrown together mixed nuts match. So it
Sure.
doesn't mean a whole lot, but it could be a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun people in this match, and it's gonna be nuts. So I think that I don't really know who I'm gonna go with winning this match. I think they're just gonna have the conglomeration win this match just for the sake of it because I don't see the needs of having the Death Riders win here. Obviously we have the one-on-one feud with Marina and Toni going on, so um, yeah, it doesn't mean much. It's just gonna be a fun match for the crowd.
So were you saying you think this is going to be in the 0 hour
I
or the
don't
main show?
I don't think so, is it?
That's what I actually didn't hear you properly. That's why I was like, oh wait, because I was going to say, well, actually, it's 2 points, even if it isn't. Because I was going to say, man, it's kind of funny seeing Tony Storm on the 0 hour. But see, to be fair, to get what one thing I love about AEW is they aren't scared to do that. Like they literally had Okada on the pre-show once alongside the like they like and I actually like. Love how they don't see it as like a relegation. It's just we're going out there to put on a show for the fans, and even if it's on the pre-show, it's on the pre-show. So I do anyway. Even if this isn't, I didn't even know this match was existed. I'll be different. Why not? I'll take the Death Riders. Why not?
Yeah, the Death Riders going out on their last nut in the mixed nuts match. Um,
Exactly.
we have the women's tag team championships also on the line. The Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale are defending against Mercedes Moné and Athena. This should be a fun match. Harley and Willow have been fun. Mercedes is great in the ring. Athena is great in the ring. If you watch the AEW End of Year Awards, we praised all four of these women on there. So I think that the Babes of Wrath are going to retain. I don't see why they would go through the hassle of having the Babes of Wrath win the entire tournament and then just lose. But then again, we once had a situation where Bayley and Sasha won the tag titles in an elimination chamber and then lost it on the very next pay-per-view. So anything can happen in professional wrestling, but I don't think that they're dropping it. I think this is going to be a means of Harley Cameron pinning Mercedes Moné to get a TBS title shot. She's not going to beat Mercedes because I think that's the last title that Mercedes is going to drop. I can see her dropping like maybe the CMLL World Championship, maybe against Persephone if they want to run that back or something. But I'm going with Harley and Willow to win this match.
I know what he just said. Give Holly Cameron all the belts. Give her all of Mercedes. She can become the new belt collector. She's so good. No, I totally agree. I don't see a reason for Babes of Wrath to lose here. They've been fantastic. Really enjoyed Willow and Holly, particularly. Again, I know I was only joking about me like we stand, but I think Willow is fantastic, absolutely. But I think she's been getting a lot of praise for and rightful praise for a while. I'm enjoying people kind of getting to see that side of Holly and being like, wait, she's really good as well. They're both absolutely fantastic. That's why, as you said, they both came up a lot, not end of the year awards. And I think this gives them a good definitive win. I know obviously they did have that over the Timeless Love Bombs, but also giving them a win over, Athena and Mercedes, two other massive names of the women's division. I think it's the right step to go, make them look strong. I just don't really see a need for Mercedes and Athena to win that at the minute, especially as you said at the minute. I agree. I think Mercedes in the midst of the downfall of the belt collector, so it'd be a bit weird for her to win another belt. So yeah, I got Babes of Wrath here. I hope it'll be a very fun match.
Yeah, simple as that. I don't. There's
Yeah.
nothing else to really break down on that match. We also have the men's AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. That is FTR defending against the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn, obviously because the other BCG members are injured and on the shelf. Now, I'm hoping that there's a meaning to this match because we already did this match without the stipulation where FTR retained and like slightly cheated or whatever. But like somewhat clean still went over Bullet Club Gold. I'm hoping there's meaning to this match, and I was thinking that maybe we get BCG in full strength here, but then again, I don't see FTR losing. And if the BCG returns and they still lose, it kind of just makes them look a little dumb and weak. So I don't think that's going to happen. So maybe we get the Edge and Christian return here tonight, potentially. I just hope that there's something here rather than it just being a match for the sake of it and just to get the tag titles on the pay-per-view. So I'm gonna go with FTR to retain here, and I'm hoping for something of meaning to come out of this.
No, it's a really interesting point because I kind of thought the same because I was trying to rack my brains of when Jay White was meant to return um to the proper full power. But as you said, even if Jay White's to return and oh my God, is it Austin or the one that's come out? I forgot.
Wow, now I'm forgetting his name too. Um,
The other gun. I've completely forgot his name. Colton. Colton and Austin.
yeah, Colt.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
yeah. If they were to return as well alongside Jay White, and then as you said, we got BCG at full strength. I also don't see them winning this match. I've gone for FTR. So as you pointed out quite rightfully, I think that would make them look quite weak if they returned at full power and still lost. So I would, I guess, more likely maybe put money on it being Edge and Christian. God, I'm not saying Cope and Christian. Maybe return after the match or something. Because even if like Jay White was to return after the match, after they've lost, it's like why did you wait till after the match,
Yeah.
especially when it's no DQ? So right now, if you were to say to me, I've obviously taken FTR as I mentioned, but if you were to say who do I think is going to return, do you think it'll be the rest of BCG or it'll be Edge and Christian? I would probably say Edge and Christian, or just no one.
Yeah, it's either Edge and Christian return or nothing happens out of this
Yeah.
match. Um, but yeah, that's the tag title match. That is a Chicago street fight. I forgot to mention that. So that could be a fun match, some fun spots in there. We also have a singles match with Darby Allin taking on Gabe Kidd. Now, this one is interesting because I'm a little bit torn on this as to how I feel about it because um when this match first got announced, I was like, why? Like, why can't we just do this on a Dynamite or something like that? But I think it's just a means of getting Darby Allin on a pay-per-view. I think Gabe Kidd is eventually signing with AEW once he's done with New Japan. And like I know a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling fans hate this Gabe Kidd and AEW thing that's going on. They kind of see it as like how WWE takes TNA's talent and whatnot. So there's a lot of heat there, but I don't think that matters. I think Gabe Kidd is still going to go over to AEW at some point full time because he's done more significant things in AEW than he's done in New Japan, from what I've seen at least. I like obviously I don't watch New Japan, but from what I've seen, I don't think that he's done anything really of significance over there in New Japan like that is in comparison to what he's done in AEW. But in terms of the result of this match, I don't know. I think that if Gabe Kidd wants to sign or like if they want to have Gabe Kidd long term and sign him, I think he's going to win this match potentially and continue it. But if not, it could just be a case of where Darby Allin wins. But I'm getting the feeling that we're gonna have Gabe Kidd win because it's gonna be a story of Darby Allin thinks he's indestructible, but he's really not. And he's gone through a shit ton of things, quite literally, over the past few months. And he's just gotten the hell beat out of him. Stairs are his kryptonite, apparently, so keep him away from stairs. Um, but I think Gabe Kidd might get the better of Darby Allin tonight.
You've put a lot more thought into that than me. I just looked at it as Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd on a pay-per-view, and I was like, "Oh, Darby Allin's going to win." I think you bring up a lot of good points, particularly with the whole on, whether Gabe Kidd is definitely. I think he will sign. To be truly honest, I think he will,
You would
especially
think so.
yeah, especially if you're getting told, you're already getting paired up with the Death Riders alongside Moxley and all that. You'd be like, yes, sure, of course I'm going to sign. So I would imagine. So I'll stick with Darby Allin here. And so maybe it is just a one-off, but you've definitely thrown a lot more interesting thoughts into the conversation than what I originally had.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like I tried to actually think about this because I didn't want to come on here and be like, this is another like, random match or whatever. I actually put some thought into this match. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like Gabe Kidd might sign with AEW because he hasn't yet. And it seems like they're putting him in more of a pivotal role right now, especially if he's going up against Darby Allin, your like top babyface hero, I guess, in a way, who just puts his body on the line like every single time he goes out. So yeah, I mean, sure. I think Gabe Kidd is cool. I haven't watched too much of him to actually like form in a like analytical opinion about him or anything like that. But I think he's cool. But that's that match.
Yeah, I was just laughing at the Gabe Kidd stuff. I had such a weird like rediscovery of Gabe Kidd. So I remember seeing him first on the UK Indies in around 2017 times, and he was this little scrawny, very skinny, like 17-year-old guy with no tattoos, no nothing, had hair and all that. And then I knew he had gone over to New Japan to be part of the kind of basically their like NXT dojo over there. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh yeah, the
Um
New Japan Dojo. Yeah.
Aye, he went over to be part of that, so I knew that. But that, to be fair, that's pretty much the last I've heard of him. And then obviously I kind of like vanished away from sort of the more indie stuff and seeing New Japan and came back and kind of came back forward into WWE. Then all of a sudden he showed up on my screen on AEW. This really buffed out, tattooed up, bald headed man. I was like, who is this man? All of a sudden, if this guy's very different from what I remembered, but he's also, I mean, he's very cool now in comparison to little scrawny boy on the Indies in the UK in 2017. So now, fair play to him. He's came a long way.
It's like when Drew came back
Oh
because
yeah,
I didn't even pay attention to him on the Indies or like TNA or anything like
yeah,
that. And so he appears in NXT,
yeah.
and I'm like, who the hell is that? I'm like, and they say Drew McIntyre. I'm like, you shut the fuck up. That is not Drew
uh,
McIntyre.
it is mental the difference even between so the first place he came. Sorry, we're going off on a wee tangent here. We Scottish wrestling tangent. um, yeah, when the difference from when he got fired to when the first place he came back was over to Scotland and then to Glasgow and to ICW. Really cool return, by the way. It's on YouTube. Would recommend anyone to go and see it. It's quite obviously Drew because he's about double the height and size of everyone else in the ring. He comes in and does the hooded. He's got the hood down, and there's a 6 foot, like six, like muscly man stood in the ring. Like, well, it's obviously Drew. Anyway, it was very cool. Even the difference between when he first got released to then, and there's only what I mean, what 90 days is it? So what's that? A few months. Man, like the work he's obviously been fired. I mean, he said it in documentary that before. Like he got fired. I was like, oh shit. And got himself in the gym. So yeah, it's so cool when that happens and folk go away, they come back, and you're like, wait, that was you. What the hell?
Yeah, he went from playing air guitar to I got screwed again.
I got screwed. Brandy needs to see a real daddy.
I love Drew.
So good.
But yeah, that's the Darby Allin Gabe Kidd stuff. Let's go over to the what else do we have here? We have the AEW Women's World Championship on the line here. I don't have anything in bulleted points, so everything just looks so jumbled together. So I'm like, holy shit, how many things do I have here? But we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. Chris Statlander defending against Jamie Hayter. I don't think Jamie Hayter's winning this title. I don't
No.
think that would make any sense. It's not like out of the real realm of possibility. She very well could win the title if Tony Khan wanted to, but I don't think she will. I think that we're setting up for um, Megan Bayne potentially taking that title off Chris Statlander. Um, I am going to lean more towards if they don't go with the Megan Bayne route, they're going to go the Tekla route. And I think Tekla could end up taking that women's world title off Chris Statlander um, because it seems like they're setting something up there. Um, So I think that's the route they're going. I think this is just a means of getting Jamie Hayter on the card. Um, it's crazy to see how the difference in years with Jamie Hayter. Like just a couple of years ago, she was like at the top of the world, at the top of the division, and now it's kind of like she's just like a bit of an afterthought in the women's division, and like that's no like shot against her. I think Jamie Hayter's a lot of fun. I think she's cool. I think she has a cool personality. But she just hasn't been the same since she came back. And I think she's going to be put in that position where she's putting a lot more people over than herself going over. So I see that with Jamie Hayter. So I'm going to pick Chris Statlander to win this match.
Yeah, it's a shame because I feel the exact same way. Like a couple years ago, I was like, "Oh my God, she's really, really cool," and I still think she's very cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just not as excited about her matches anymore. And I said that even when I came on scene that we had this match, and I was a bit like, "Oh," and I don't want to be like because it's Chris
Yeah.
Statlander and it's Jamie Hayter, but I was just a bit like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm that fussed about this match." I mean, I think it's quite simple. I think it'll be Chris Statlander retaining. Big fan, as you said, if they are going to go down the route of Megan Bain, please do. But yeah, no, I think it'll just be Chris Statlander retaining. I was also kind of laughing during that there, and just because I was reading, I just quickly searched the card, and I realized there's just because it really confused me that there's another match on the pre-show, and it's really, really confused me. And a completely off-topic segment where apparently Eddie Kingston is going on 1-on-1 against Zach Gibson of Grizzled Young Vets. What have I missed to the fact that Zach Gibson's having a one-on-one match with Eddie
What?
Kingston?
I I don't remember everything that happened on Collision this past week. I don't think anything happened with them though. If I'm
I have not seen anything on like I just randomly I just googled AEW World's End 2025 card and this is sat here under the pre-show alongside obviously the Sisters of Sin and Hyan or High One um the tag match and I was like what universe have we entered that Zach Gibson and Eddie Kingston are having a one-on-one match?
Yeah, that's a very weird matchup. It reminds me of like when you're bored and you're playing 2K and you just press a random button for two random wrestlers to have a match and you just play that match. And I feel like Tony Khan did something like that, like
That's
roll a dice, let's see who we have.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, Eddie Kingston will win it, but yeah, that's what that sounds like. But anyway, the main thing was yes, I'll take Chris Statlander to retain our championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's save the Continental Classic stuff for last because I feel like that's the more interesting thing to talk about there. So let's talk about the AEW World Championship. We got a four-way match going on. We got MJF, we got Swerve Strickland, we got Hangman Adam Page, and we got the champion Samoa Joe going at it. Now, I was stumped for a little bit when trying to decide who I'm picking for this match, because there's a lot of like different aspects that go into this, right? So MJF obviously cashes in his Casino Gauntlet contract. I'm glad they didn't do the stupid Money in the Bank style cash in. That's a WWE thing, so I'm glad they didn't do that. Um, I look at Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. I think I'm counting them out the most to win this match. I don't think that they're gonna win it here. And then I bounce between Samoa Joe and MJF, and I'm like, it makes no sense for MJF to lose this match. I think MJF is walking away with the title tonight. It just makes the most sense because if MJF loses, then you have two back-to-back male Casino Gauntlet winners look like little bitches and a lose. So MJF should win this match tonight, and I think he will. I think that the next champion, especially if MJF wins it, is going to be Will Ospreay. I think that's going to be at Wembley Stadium at All In next year. So, and if Joe retains, he's not holding that title all the way till All In. He's going to drop it along the way. Um, I don't know if I'm and like I might be in the odd bubble with this, but I don't think I'm that excited for an MJF title reign again, because he just came back and MJF is great, but um, the way his last title reign ended was not the greatest. and I wasn't a big fan of it, and I'm like, man, like something about MJF holding the world title again right now just isn't sitting right with me. Like I know he'll do good. Like he'll do some good character stuff, but if Osprey, which is like I not if when Osprey wins that title, because Osprey is the next in line to win that world title. I think that's definitive. He's going to win that at All In next year. Um, but what do you do on the way to that, right? Because you got months till All In if MJF wins the title tonight. So you got to figure out what you're doing in between that. You got Bandito. You can have MJF feud with, but that's not like that's a filler feud. If anything, that's no disrespect to Bandito, but nobody really thinks Bandito is walking out with the AEW World Championship. So that's that. And then what do you do with Swerve and Hangman, two pivotal guys you have on your roster as well? So there's a lot of things that AEW has to consider going into this match. I don't think that they've booked themselves into a corner with this. I think that there's good things to come out of this, but it's going to be a kind of difficult task for them to manage everything if they have MJF win the title, which I think he will. With what do you do with Swerve? What do you do with Hangman? Joe is just going to be around the ops. Joe will be fine. He's hanging up the boots soon anyway, once his contract is up. So he'll be fine. Yeah, but I'm going with MJF to win this match because I think it just makes the most sense.
Yeah, a lot of bits to try and cover here, and I love what you did there. You kind of took two of my thoughts that I hadn't even connected the dots on, and two thoughts that I agree with on, and you've went and connected them, and I've gone, oh, wait, yes. So we also spoke yesterday, and I said that, and I won't do that. I think MGS winning this match. I didn't realize how significantly less off my life is when MGF is not in it. Him returning is just made me so happy. Um, but I also totally agree with you on the fact that Osprey is winning it all. And I thought actually that's part of the reason I thought earlier this year or last year, whenever I thought Osprey was going to win this year at All In, because at the time when I thought this, they hadn't announced it to not be at Wembley. Because I was like, he's obviously winning it at Wembley. Come on, it's Osprey.
Yeah.
Um, and then as soon as they announced that, I was like, oh, okay, I don't know. It's a bit, not quite as nice having him win in Texas than it is having him win in London. So I totally agree. Osprey winning, and does that mean that the own cup's already a foregone conclusion for this year? Quite,
See, that's another thought that came to mind. I'm like, that just makes the Owen Hart so much more predictable.
yeah, it does because I thought that as well. But yes, either who it is. So I totally agree that Osprey's winning, and then you've kind of put two and two in my brain, going, yeah, MGF being the ultimate horrendous dickhead evil heel for Osprey to overcome at Wembley, I think makes sense. But I totally agree that I think there's a long way to go in the middle. What do you do, as you said with Swerve? What do you do with Hangman? I think the best course that they can do is not do what they did before with MJF. And obviously have him kind of naturally turn, but turn babyface. I think just MJF just needs to be the ultimate evil villain, and just let him be MJF because that's what he just excels in because he's just so good. I love the guy so much. Um, but yeah, I said I totally agree. There's a long way to go. Whereas I at least trust them to do it a lot more than I would right now if we were in WWE shows at the minute of 2025. So yeah, I've got MJF winning this. I think you said, as you said, there's so many other points to it that make sense. If he doesn't, then that's two in a row that they've kind of messed up. Maybe that's what they're trying to be like. They're like, we're not like WWE. See, all of our contracts loose. I don't. I think it's a bit rubbish. And as you said, Joe will be fine. It's a bit of a shame that Joe never proper gets to have like long world championship runs. But the guy's, he said he's in the late stages of his career and all that. So there's a lot of interesting elements come out of it, and it'll be interesting to see what they do over this next year and how they keep it going. But we've seen that literally this year, at the beginning of the year. The Death Rider stuff was a bit like, oh god, with some of the finishes to the end of the pay-per-views, but then by the end of the Death Rider storyline, we were like, the payoff's absolutely amazing, and it's all accumulated here, and it's been fantastic. So we might get the same here, but MJF to become AEW World Champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do see what you mean by Samoa Joe, like not getting long title reigns. By the way, a little bit of a spoiler for anybody who pays attention to my Universe Mode stuff. I got something coming up with Samoa Joe, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I am in total agreement. I think MJF is, I think he has to win this match. I think it just makes the most sense. It wouldn't make sense if Swerve or Hangman won it. It just makes sense for MJF to go over with this match. Um, that brings me to the Continental Classic matches. Now we have two semifinals matches, and then those two semifinalist winners will be meeting in the final on this same night at World's End. So we've got Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada happening. I actually love that this is happening in the semifinals. I'm glad that they didn't do this in the finals, because I think everybody was expecting this match to be the final matchup, and I'm glad Tony Khan swerved us a little bit. Swerve Strickland's not in this tournament, by the way, but I'm glad that he swerved us a little bit with this being the semifinals match. Um, I guess we could tie in the other match to this as well because it's same tournament or whatever. The other semifinals match is Kyle Fletcher and John Moxley, which is another fantastic match that I'm very excited for. With the Okada and Takeshita match. Now, there's a lot of people that are saying that Takeshita is going to win this match. I don't think he is. I think Okada is going to beat Takeshita, and it's going to continue that story. It's too quick to have this story, and like I don't think it'll end even if Takeshita wins, but it's too quick for this to happen. They've been building this greatest tournament wrestler thing around him for a while. Um, and I think that Takeshita losing this match is going to solidify his babyface turn and leaving the Don Callis family. And he's going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not having you guys hold me back anymore. I'm to Konosuke Takeshita, and I'm going to whoop Okada's ass next time we have a match, kind of thing. Um, if Takeshita does win, and I can see a world where, um, if they want Kyle Fletcher to win this thing, potentially Kazuchika Okada attacks Takeshita after the match, after Takeshita beats him, and that softens him up for that match, and Kyle Fletcher goes for the kill immediately in there. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's a possibility, but I'm going with Okada beats Takeshita and Moxley beats Fletcher, and we get Okada and Moxley in the finals, and Okada retains the title.
You know, everything you said there makes total sense, and only a fool would disagree with it. But give me Takeshita or we riot. No, I absolutely everything you said there makes complete sense, and I wouldn't be mad or surprised if Okada won. But I'm just like, I want Castagnoli. I want just want. It's one of these things in wrestling. I'm getting past the logical point of view here. I just want Takeshita to do it. And it's really interesting actually on the flip side with that. I shall say this as well. I liked your point you made of them saying that if they actually want Fletcher to win this and have Takeshita go through it, is having Okada attack Takeshita and keeping him looking strong in defeat if he was to go on to lose to Fletcher. That is actually something I wouldn't mind if that is the route they're going to go down. Which is really funny the way we've kind of looked at this again because Fletcher and Moxley is a fantastic match, and I'm just going off of a complete like mark point of view here. I just think the final of the Continental Classic, while it's Takeshita Okada, I think to suit us marks, it's better suited to it being against Fletcher in the final than Moxley, just personally. Um, which is why I've gone for Fletcher. Now, again, hey, you know me, I ain't going to complain if Moxley's in that final. I'll be quite happy with Moxley being there. Um, but just something, see, especially the year that Fletcher's had. I'm going to go with Fletcher going through at the final, and I say I'm going to take Takeshita as well. Again, and all the points you said make way more sense. But that's the way I'm going with it. And then in the final, I'll go with what I originally had anyway. I'm going to keep it with Takeshita to win the Continental. classic. And then obviously, because even if they were to go down that route, then we can still have the him going, I guess, full babyface, with taking the belt from Okada, Okada being extra pissed off. That's where I'm gonna go. That is more of just me thinking with my sheer heart and wanting Takeshita to do it. Everything you've said makes total sense, and I'm like, you're probably right because it makes sense. But I want Takeshita to do it, so I'll go with what I want to happen, not what I think will happen.
It's interesting. For me, there's only two routes that this can go, and that's Okada Mox or Okada Fletcher, because Okada is 0-2 against Kyle Fletcher. He's never beaten Kyle Fletcher.
Really?
And Okada and Mox have never faced one-on-one before.
Really? Damn.
Never. So I'm thinking we get that first ever matchup tonight
Oh,
with
that makes
Okada and Mox. Um and you mentioned something for us marks. I want that. I want that. I want
you
that
always do
Mox and Okada
that.
match. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind Fletcher and Okada either, because that's a very interesting story with Kyle Fletcher being 2-0 against Okada. Um and built a lot of high stakes, but I think that we are heading down the route of um Mox and Okada.
See, you've thrown me even more there by telling me that Mox and Okada have now had a match. It didn't even cross my mind that they hadn't. You just assumed they would have at some point.
Yeah, right?
Particularly when Mox was over in New Japan before AEW. I was like, oh, I assume he would have been. Oh, but obviously not. Okay, look, it obviously makes sense. It obviously makes sense. I'm sticking with the Takeshita though.
Fair enough. I believe that is all that we have for AEW. I almost said All Out. I'm still thinking about All Out, guys. That was such a great show. Such a
Was
great pay-per-view. I loved being there. That was a lot of fun. But this is not All Out. This is World's End. So that was our AEW World's End 2025 predictions. As always, we want to know what you guys have to say and what your thoughts are. So make sure you guys let us know your thoughts down in the comments, whether you're listening on YouTube or Spotify. Let us know your thoughts down below. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting on the channel. Once again, I apologize for the what? Hello? Inconsistency with TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. But I will be back, especially in the new year. I'll be a lot more consistent once the holidays are over and stuff. There's just been a lot of chaos going on. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all that stuff. Rue, where can they find you?
Rue on Wrestling, find me on TikTok and find me on YouTube. I have put it out to the universe that I will be live again on TikTok tonight for World's End, but man, I am already tired and I don't know how I'm going to deal with an AEW pay-per-view. But as you said, it isn't as long
Coffee.
as some of them. That is, it's coffee or alcohol. It's one of the way I'm going to be going here. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what
Rue's
ends up
gonna be
happening.
drunk on live, guys, tonight.
Quite
And I will
potentially.
be there to watch it. So if you want to come say hi to us, then
Quite potentially,
say hi.
yes. I'll be good. No, actually, I want to watch the show anyway because I guess on part of that is I don't know. I know we did the Continental stuff last. I imagine they'll open with the Continental stuff because obviously two guys are going to be pulling double duty,
Yeah.
so definitely want to be there for the opening couple, the opening two matches.
Let's open with Okada and Takeshita. Fuck it.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
open with that.
That's what I hear. That's what I mean. Give me it. I inject it into my veins. Yes, actually. Yeah, I will be live tonight on TikTok on Ruin Wrestling.
Sounds good. Yeah, I will be in the live as well to support Rue. And if you guys want to come over and say hi, then feel free to jump in Rue's live. It's always a vibe in his live. He's much better at it than I was going live. So I just sat there. I just sat there. When someone spoke to me, I spoke back. But Rue is very good with keeping his chat engaged. I am not. So make sure you guys go check that stuff out. That's why I stopped the lives, guys. That,
Hey,
that's why I stopped, because I'm like,
I just get asked stupid questions and I respond to them. Like, where can we find the show? Can't wait to not tell people it's on Netflix tonight.
yeah, guys, it's not on Netflix. It's not on Netflix tonight, and it is live. It
It
is
is
live.
live.
It is live. You may have to pay for it, but you know, yeah. But yeah, that is the combo edition of the headlines in pro wrestling this week, and the predict the bell for AEW Worlds End 2025. Once again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify. I will see you guys on the man. I don't want to do a post show tonight. But I'll see you guys on the AEW World's End 2025 post show later tonight. I will be live on YouTube, so make sure you guys come check that out. I may be also under the influence, just not alcohol, during Rue's live. Um, nothing illegal, at least in Canada. So make sure, so yeah, we're gonna have a fun night tonight. It's the holidays. Don't nobody give me shit. So it's the holidays. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna watch AEW World's End tonight, and I will be live on the post show on YouTube later tonight. Yes, I will be functional enough to do a post show. So yeah,
It won't be after Takeshita wins at all, I'm telling you.
that's when the post show gets canceled. I just look like a fucking idiot. So, anyway, I will see you guys on the next one, and until then, take it easy.